But is that enough to get a result? Anybody here? Is that enough? What's missing?
Sanction.
Sorry? Mercy, yes.
Sanction of.
Sanction of love. I think same thing, right? So Krishna. But there's another word we use for what Krishna wants us to get. It's called karma. Right? So action, attention, intention, karma plus Krishna. That equals results. So which of those 6 things do we have control over? Do we have control over what Krishna wants? Do we have control over the result that Krishna gives us? Do we have control over our karma? No. Yes?
Not really.
No, from previous karma, yeah? With the result of which you are going to get, right? So only thing we have control over is our action, our attention, and our intention. So the word is telling us to focus on the result that we have no control over. But Gita is saying no. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you have control over. So if you remember your days from your school days, whatever result you get, what did you have control over at that time? How much you studied? If you skipped any classes or not, right? And did you pay attention? Was your heart in the studies? That's what you have control over. And that determined the result most of the time. Not all the time. And let me give you an example, personal example. This was grade 12, and next morning was the exam in math. I was studying in my room. And a friend of mine came at 10:30 at night. And he said, please solve this problem. He had no particular problem. So we tried for an hour. It's 11:30 at night and can't do it. I said, yes, Jao, I'm going to sleep tomorrow morning's exam. He said, no, but this problem will be there in the exam. And he said, board exams. It's not like even in school, board exams. I said, aayega to aayega. If it comes, what can I do? I sent him home. I went to my bed. In the morning, I go to the school where the exam was going to happen, and I saw him. And he said, I solved it. And he told me how to solve the problem. And I went to my room, we went to this exam room. 3 hours later, he came out. I saw him. I ran to him. Sorry, I forgot. In the exam, that problem was there. So I said, before I forget it, I did that first, and then I went to the other problems, right? 3 hours later, I come out of the exam hall. I see him in the hallway. I run to him and hug him. I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And he's looking very unhappy. I said, what happened? He said, I forgot how to do it. This is karma. This is what Krishna is. So the point I'm trying to make is that the world says focus on results. Krishna says, you have no control over results. So don't even bother with the focus on what you can control. Right? Okay. So why am I telling you all this? The world is telling us with all this to live a life. There's so much into it, they're also telling us how to live life and what life to live. When I was growing up, about half a million years ago, and there were only 3 careers. You either had to be an engineer to be successful, or a doctor to be successful, or you were a failure. That's it. There were only 3 careers at that time. Right? So, if you didn't become one of those 2, you were a failure. It doesn't matter what. So they told us, the world told us what we have to do. But Krishna is telling us, no, it's not about how to live, what life to live, but how to live life. Krishna is focus on life, not what or how you to live. And then I'm going to elaborate on that. So the point is, and that's the topic of the discussion today, how to live our life. Not what life to live, not which career to have, but how to live life. Okay. And to do that, one other concept I will talk about before I get to my class. We talk about success. The word will tell you, be successful. But what is the definition of success? Let me ask you, what is your definition or the world's definition of success? Yes,
I don't know about the world's. Mine's effort.
Yours is?
Effort.
Effort, okay.
That's mine.
Okay,
Not
fair,
the world's.
fair enough,
That's
fair enough.
mine.
Money and power.
Money and power, yeah. Yes, what are you?
mine is satisfaction. As long as you are satisfied with whatever you have, is my
Okay.
success.
Great, yeah, great, wonderful. Anybody else? Yes?
The contentment you carry in your hand.
Can you?
The contentment you carry in your
Yeah,
hand.
yeah. So clearly, some of the answers are devotee-like answers, some of the answers are what the world will tell you, right? So, again, having understood that, let's now talk about the story that I want to start with, and that is Bhagavad Gita. How many people have read Bhagavad Gita? Okay, all right. So most of you, like that. Chapter 1. What's happening in chapter 1? Arjun has come to the battlefield. Now, what is his mood? What is intent to come to that battlefield? He's going to fight. Who's he going to fight? His enemy. Who's going to fight with? His friends. So already the concept of enemy and friend is there in his mind. Right? When he goes there, what is his intent to do? Why is he there? To win. To win the war. What does he think his reward is?
Kingdom.
The kingdom, exactly. Kingdom. So therefore, his success criteria at this time as he's coming into the war is to win that kingdom. Right? So he comes. When he comes in, something happens. He sees people he knows. So he says to Krishna, Senior Ubyor Badhe, he says, please take my chariot in the middle of the two armies. I want to see who's here to fight with. But again, very interesting. He's ordering Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to do something for him. Already the Lord has accepted the position of a servant, the charioteer. Now he's ordering. Isn't that what we do lots of times? Krishna, get my daughter married. Krishna, get me that promotion. Krishna, Lotto Max is $55 million. No, let me have that. On and on. There's no end to it. You're constantly ordering Krishna to do something for us. Arjun is doing the same thing. Goes there, he looks at the opposing army. What does he see? What does he see?
Relatives and
His
friends.
relatives, his friends, his loved ones, respected ones, teachers, grandfather, and all sorts of this. And he said, wait a minute, I have to kill these people to win, to be successful, I have to kill these people. Now suddenly there is a transformation. And he becomes a philosopher. What does he say as a philosopher? He says, my dear Krishna, if I kill these people, and he's also at the same time, quote unquote, educating Krishna. He said, Krishna, if I kill all these people, all the men will be gone and women will be there on their own. There will be some other men who exploit these women, and there will be a rise of illicit progeny. Okay? One thing. Then he tells Krishna, not only that, when the elders are not there, who will tell the children and the family about the traditions? So they lose their traditions. Who will provide the guidance? They become unguided. And he carries on like that. And he's feeling actually very upset. So he stopped there for a second. The relatives are his body's relative. Right? So again, it's a materialistic platform. Still, looking at people as enemy or friend, relative or dear one is all related to the body. So still thinking at that level, and talking to Krishna at that level. And when you do that, there's one very common reaction, which is you either react positively or negatively, whether feel happy or despondent. And Arjun is going through the same emotions at this time. And then he says, then his definition of success changes. We're talking about what makes me happy, the contentment of heart, right? He's thinking, yes, my criteria of success was to win this kingdom. I will win this kingdom because I know I will win. But what I have to do to win the kingdom is kill these people. And he's saying, I will not enjoy the kingdom that I get after killing my loved ones. No, in Hindi they say, हाथ खून से लगे हुए हैं कैसे enjoy करें? My blood is soaked in the, my hands are soaked in the blood of my relatives and loved ones. How can I enjoy the kingdom I obtained by doing that? So his criteria has changed now. His own success criteria has changed. Once that has changed, his decision changes. But remember, he's still at the material level. So he's saying, what did he tell Krishna? What decision did Arjuna make at that point?
I don't want to fight.
I don't want to fight. Krishna, I don't want to fight. What's the second decision he made? Or convey to Krishna?
Please guide me.
Forest, exactly. He says, I'm going to give up all this battlefield now, I'm going to do it forest. Very interesting. Having very quickly moved from the point of coming here to kill everybody to win the kingdom, saying, no, I don't want to kill anybody, I don't want a kingdom that I attain by killing my friends. Such a transformation, right? How does Krishna react to that?
Quiet.
Relax.
He was smiling and quiet.
Yes, that's a very good point. So let's talk about that also. In the entire chapter 1, how many sentences or verses did Krishna speak?
Zero.
Zero. And that's a lesson for us who are guiding other people, maybe mentoring or counseling other people. One ideal rule of that is allow the other person to finish what they're saying. There is an expression we use, let them empty their bucket. So they'll come to you with a bucket full of feelings, emotions, concerns, whatever. It's full of. Until you allow them to empty that bucket, they're not in a mood to listen to whatever you say. You can say the best, the most profound things to them, but they're not listening. Why? Because then they're not finished talking yet. That's one way. Then there's a monster in the world, this monster called advice monster. You know what that is? We love to give advice even before we know what the problem is. And if you're from India, which most of you obviously are, you go talk to anybody and say, I got this problem like ailment. And they already advise, yeah, you should take this medicine. Oh, by the way, I have it in my water. Have you had that experience?
Yes.
All the time. Tell them any problem, they have a solution for you before they even know what your problem is. So obviously, Krishna is saying, no, that we don't do that. So we allow them to empty their bucket and we control our advice monster. Wait until they are ready for your advice. Third thing is, don't advise until you have been hired. What that means is, if I didn't ask you for advice, don't give it to me because it's not welcome. It doesn't matter how it is. So those things, Krishna is waiting. Krishna is waiting. Now, and Krishna actually goes a little bit longer. It goes into the second chapter. Krishna is waiting for Arjuna to be actually saying, I'm willing to hear your advice. I'm begging you for your advice. So, those are the read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 7. This Karpane dosho, Uparat Subhava, Vichamitam Dhamma Samurjita. Yet Shreya Shan Vishitam Guritam, Shishyaste Aham.
Sadhimam Prabhajimam.
Just saying, I'm a disciple and I surrender to you. You tell me what you think is the best interest of mine. Because I don't know what my duty is. I don't know what I should be doing. Then and then only Krishna has to speak. Until then he allows Arjuna to speak. He just chastises him a little bit because Arjuna is talking nonsense. How did you get this garbage? How did you get this garbage in your head? Prabhupada comments on that. Krishna said, how did you get so much gobar in your head? This is an expression in India, like gobar bhara. So Krishna waited for all that before he started speaking. So now, what is Krishna doing? Krishna says, you started on one platform, which is material platform. And you suddenly shifted to spiritual platform by saying that you have run to the forest. And then he says, you can run to the forest if you want. But let me tell you, you're going to take your nature with you. Right? Mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. And you don't take a Varna with you. His Varna is Kshatriya. So Kshatriya, his nature is to pick a fight. So even if you go to the forest, you have to fight with somebody. Right? And then he says something, but before I tell you that, I'm going to ask you another question. What could be the, I'm sorry, we talk about 99.9 people not being spiritual in the world. What is the reason? What keeps them from becoming spiritual? And that's important because I want to connect that with what Krishna said. What keeps people from turning spiritual? What are the challenges they have there?
Something does not happen according to their plan.
Okay, something does not happen according to their plan. What else? Yes.
Desires.
Their own material desires, yes.
Ego.
Their ego. What else?
Material details they want to fulfill in their life.
Yes, what is that?
CP24.
Sorry, what?
CP24.
Okay, that's very good point. Because that's what's happening. They are influencers, right? TV is one, social media, another one. They are people with title of influencers. Who influence what you wear, where you go, what you talk about. They're all affecting your thought process. You know, I know when I went to IIT, I went to electrical engineering because that was the thing to do those days. There. Some people took mechanical and all that. 3 years later, they realized that no, everybody's saying you have to go to electrical. So many of them transferred to electrical engineering. And frankly, that screwed me up because 2 of them were ahead of me in the class. So number 1 and became number 3. I didn't like that, but my point is that people were influenced by other people to do. So that's another one. What else?
Renunciation.
Sorry?
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Okay, explain that one.
So some people inherently they feel that this whatever they are doing in this world, there is no meaning for them.
Okay, all right. So there's so many things. Go.
Lack of faith,
Lack of faith.
material entanglement.
But exactly. So my point is, people have expectations. People have pressure for want you to do things. So there are so many reasons that you may want to say, I'm having difficulty turning spiritual because of all these reasons that we just talked about. And some say renunciation, which is let's run away from us. And Krishna is saying running away is not the solution. He also said people will call you a coward. So don't be a coward, and don't be called a coward and do everything that you are going to do anyway. Right? It's lose. Don't do that. And then he says, Arjun, understand something. What is your identity? That's the first thing. That's the first thing he tells Arjun. What is your identity? Or you are a spirit soul. But it's very interesting. You are a spirit soul, but you as spirit soul is living in a Kshatriya body. Right? So something is spiritual is living in something material, Bhumi, Rapo, Anado, Vaikuntha, there are all the 5 elements and all that. You're living in a body made of that. And that body is living in the material world. So spirit soul living in a material body is living in the material world. And there's no escape from that. So spirit soul is your identity. But what you're doing in your body, with your body, is your role. So you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a son, whatever. They're all your roles. This role is a stage, as you know. And we are all playing a role, actually multiple roles, not a role, multiple roles. But playing multiple roles does not change my identity. So for example, if you take any Bollywood actor, give me a name. Any actor.
Shahrukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan has played so many roles, right? Bazigar, Sodagar, whatever, right? But Shah Rukh Khan is Shah Rukh Khan. He's the father of a boy called Aryan Khan who got in a lot of trouble, and he was very worried. So that's Shah Rukh Khan's identity. All these are roles. So similarly, our identity is your spirit soul, but we're playing all these roles. But when we're on the stage, a good actor forgets he's Shah Rukh Khan. He plays whatever roles there. And we are very good actors. All of us are very good actors. So we're playing that role very well. But our identity does not change. So we're playing a role while keeping that identity, but sometimes hidden because we're so good at the role we play. Right? Therefore, we have to be doing both that role playing and remembering that identity at the same time. So that is why we have a material aspect to our life and we have a spiritual aspect. They cannot be separated. It's like two sides of the coin, they have to be together. Heads and tails cannot be separated. Similarly, we cannot separate our material life from our spiritual life. You cannot separate our material role with our spiritual identity. The problem comes when we get mixed up, when we start thinking role is the identity. That's when the problem comes. Right? So you can remember what is the role, what is the identity, the problem will happen. So to explain that further, Krishna tells Arjuna about another concept. He says there are two types of dharmas. What does dharma mean by that? Before I go further, what does dharma mean?
The constitutional.
Duty. What does it mean?
The constitutional.
Hmm?
Constitutional position.
Constitutional position, exactly, the nature, the intrinsic nature. Right? Dharma cannot change. So for example, no matter what you do to a fire, it will still be hot and you light. Whatever you can do to the water will still be wet and it will flow wherever the gravities are, the levels flow. It's on and on and on. Similarly, anyway, so that's the meaning of the word dharma. So one is called, what's it called? Oh my God. Not the dharma. It's, sorry? Thank you. Swadharma. Just in blank. What's called Swadharma? What does Swadharma mean? Swadharma means all the duties we have as a human being. We are material entity. So, what are some of the duties of a human being? We all human beings will caring for the family, yes. What else? Sorry, taking care of the body, absolutely right, yeah. What else?
Food, shelter.
Food, shelter, yeah. So all those are human swadharmas. We have to take care of them. Now, how do we know what is your swadharma? What would you do to find your swadharma?
Isn't it part of us?
Yes,
Is it
but
part
how
of
do you know
us?
what it is?
So if you're a mother, you're taking care of your kids.
There you go,
taking care
yes.
of your parents.
So dharma depends upon your role. So you know what your role is, right? You also know what your own nature is. So again, your Kshatriya nature, or Vaishya nature, or Brahman nature. So you know that. Also depends upon your responsibilities, etc. But if you don't know, if you're not sure, you can ask your friends, what do you think my nature is? What do you think my swadharma is? You can ask or they'll tell you anyway. If you're a good friend, they'll tell you anyway, right? And or you can ask your elders, your mentors, your guides, your counselors, what do you think my nature is? What swadharma would be? And if you're still not sure, you can experiment. So, for example, somebody says, I've been working at this job for 3 years, I'm not feeling happy, I think I'll start a business. And we started business and let's see if it works or not, and then we do another business. There was somebody I knew who was a big time consultant. And I said, I just don't enjoy this anymore. I want to be a coach, a life coach. So what do you do? So he started working instead of 5 days a week, 4 days a week. And one day a week started coaching, learning how to coach. And after 1 year, he became became a coach. So now he's coaching 1 day a week. And then he was liking it so much, he started doing 2 days a week. And then working only consulting 3 days a week. And slowly he became a full-time coach. Right? So, less risk, did that, and now actually he's a full-time coach and making more money than he was making as a consultant. So again, he experimented and figured out what Swadharma is. He's focusing on that. One of the points about Swadharma is that actually Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 35, Krishna says, Shreya Swadharmo Viguna Pardharmo Swadharma. Swadharma is no Shreya, Pardharmo Bhayava. Right? He's saying, stick to your dharma, your Swadharma. Do not try to do somebody else's. Right? If your dharma is a Brahmin, stay Brahmin, don't try to be Kshatriya, because you will not do very well. And that's also very important because as you're trying to achieve the results, whatever comes to you naturally, will do better at. As a matter of fact, I remember long time ago. Yes, please.
Sorry, but what about the butternuts?
Okay.
Butternuts, you were talking about, like, that's what the whole idea you said, if you're a Brahmin, stick to a Brahmin. But
Correct.
isn't that your true nature, your butternut? Rather
Yes.
than- So a Brahmin may have the nature of a Vaishya, or a Kshatriya might have the nature of a Brahmin.
Yeah, so okay. So remember what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says it's not which family you were born in.
Is the
That is
guna.
your Varna. It's what the qualities,
Guna.
right, guna, and activities.
Karma.
So that's what determines your Varna. It's not which family you're born in. So therefore you have to look at yourself. And do it. So if your Varna is X, don't try to do the job of Varna Y because you will not do it. Right? You tell a Brahmin to start killing somebody, he will not get that. So anyway, the point, come on, is it time to swim? What have you finished? Oh, you're sitting with mic so I can't see you. Yes, sir. So it's a 5:45 one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So knowing your dharma is very important. And if you do what is so dharma, you do better. So I was going to say that. Long time ago, 1992, I was laid off from my job. But the company gave an arrangement that there was another company I go to learn how to apply for jobs and how to apply for jobs, those sort of things. So there, one of the sessions they taught us that you should spend some time knowing what industry you should work in. And to do that, you should make a matrix which says, what are you good at, what are your strengths, and what you enjoy doing. So the intersection of what you enjoy doing and what your strength is the industry you should go to. The same thing here. If we understand our Swadharma, which means we know what we like doing, what's our taste, what's our preference, what we enjoy doing, and then combine that with our abilities. And then that's your real Swadharma. So Krishna is saying that you are a Kshatriya. So therefore, you cannot run away from battle. So therefore, you perform. Then he says, but you're not just a human, you're not just a material being, you're also a spiritual being. And as a spiritual being, remember we said material was role, spiritual was identity. Your identity is spirit soul. What's the dharma of spirit soul?
Serving.
Serving. Jiva Swarupai,
Nitya Krishna
Krishna
Das.
in the class. It is your identity to serve. So you serve, and we'll come back to that point. However, what it means is that you are a material entity, and at the same time you are a spiritual entity. Therefore, you're not simple mechanism, you're complex, integrated mechanism. Combination of material and spiritual at the same time. Now, sometimes people get mixed up with what does that mean, how does it work. Let me give again personal example. When I came to Canada 56 years ago, came here, I was doing my master's, and I found that this was easy. So I said, okay, I'm going to focus on becoming a Canadian. And I got so good at it. A year after I came here, people were saying I was more Canadian than the Canadians themselves. So I was walking like them, I was talking like them, I was doing what they were doing, and I was enjoying the, the mashed potatoes and the hashed potatoes and, all those Canadian foods, right? And then one day, an Indian family invited me to their place for dinner. And guess what they served me? Roti, dal, chawal, sabji. Man, that tasted good. That tasted so good. Why? Because, there's a song,
Original
"Mera
identity.
Juta Hai Japani, Kabloon Hindustani,"
Hindustani.
right? Simple lal ka koi rusi phir bhi,
Reliance.
they have Hindustani. So at heart, I'm an Indian, right? I loved, apple strudels, apple pie with ice cream, hot apple ice cream, and, souffles and all that. But जो मजा रसमलाई में, रसगुल्ला, गुलगुले में, वो किसी केक में नहीं, है ना? तो why? Because I'm Indian at heart. I can live here all my life, and that's always been Indian. So similarly, you can have any body that Krishna gives you, but inside you still a spiritual identity, that is the soul. You cannot forget that. But because you've been so conditioned living in this material world, you're also the body. So therefore a complicated, complex, integrated entity. Which means you have two roles. You have the material role and you have the spiritual role. And they have to go side by side. So Krishna is saying, do not run to the forest, because if you think it'll be just spiritual, it's not going to work. And same thing applies to us. We are integrated entity, and therefore we have to remember our role, which is the material side of the life, and we remember our identity, which is the spiritual. So, how does that work? We talked about don't focus on the results. We talked about focus on the process. Those people who do that, they're known as karma yogis. Right? Chapter 3, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, they all talk about karma. So karma yogi is performing activities without bothering about the results. Again, as we were discussing before, because they have no control over the results. So therefore, they can be renounced by living in the material world without giving up their family and job and those sort of things. Krishna said, because you are an integrated entity, I'll give you a verse, chapter 8, text 7. He says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mama anusmar yuddhija. He said, therefore, do all your battles. Don't run to the forest. Do all your battles while at the same time remembering me. Same time remembering me. In other words, whatever job you have has been given to you by the mercy and the plan of Krishna. However you perform in your job is going to be by the plan and the mercy of the Lord. If you're having difficulty, He will take you out of that difficulty. So you do whatever you're doing while remembering Him at the same time. That is living an integrated life. So therefore, karma yogis are doing that. They're doing whatever is required in the material world to do. And they can be very highly positioned people. They can be CEOs, they can be presidents, directors, managing directors, and whatever else. They can be all that. They can have thousands of people working for them. But they could be devotees. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, what were they in their material life?
Minister.
Prime Minister, Revenue Minister. Right? Pundarik Vidyanidhi, a king. Pratap Rudra, king. But they were pure devotees. So it's not mutually exclusive. You don't have to be only material. You don't have to be only spiritual. You have to be both. Because if you're only material, you can get success. No question about it. You can become, Donald Trump. You can be Donald Trump. Very successful in a material way. We won't talk about the rest of it. It's not a political forum. But my point is, yes, you can be materially very successful, but will you be happy? Going back to your point again. Let's take an example. Who has heard the name Padukone? What's her name?
Deepika.
Deepika
Thank you. Deepika Padukone. you know how famous she is? She's beautiful, she's rich, but she came out and said, I'm very depressed. I'm suffering from depression. Michael Jackson, some of you may be too young for that. Oh, you know, okay. He basically overdosed himself. So successful, such a great singer, so famous. Robert Williams, another wonderful actor, committed suicide. So these very successful people are getting depressed or committing suicide. Why? Because inside they're not happy. Because they're focusing only on that one side. The problem we have is that our soul, Krishna says, Mame Vansho Jivaloke. We are the part and parcel of Krishna. Therefore, we're connected to Krishna. But unfortunately, for many reasons, we become disconnected with Krishna. But that longing for connection is not gone away. Therefore, if we're only doing things that are keeping us away from Krishna, something is missing inside. There's a vacuum. There's a gap. There's a feeling of emptiness. Because that Krishna-shaped, Krishna-sized hole in our heart that everybody has, by the way, is not being filled by Krishna's shape. You can try to fill that hole with any number of material desires, any kind of material designations, positions, achievements, but that jigsaw puzzle, only that one piece will fit to make that puzzle complete. Nothing else will fit. You can have millions of those pieces, but you need that one piece. You can have millions of things, accomplishments, achievements, positions, etc., etc. But until we fill that hole with Krishna, that emptiness will not go away. That feeling of something's missing will not go away. That contentment that you're talking about will not come. There's always something lacking in our life. And hence the depression and all this kind of things will come. So Krishna is saying, therefore, perform on both sides. There is a verse in Bhagavatam says, Savayatman Sam Parodharmo Yato Bhakti Yato Chudara. Ahadaki Apatihata Yayatma Suprasidhati. He's saying, Sutta Goswami is saying, that until we perform devotional service to Krishna for his pleasure, and not 2 hours a day, 24/7, then and then only the soul will be happy. And the soul is not happy, we will not be happy. Because after we are the soul. If somebody says, I have a soul, what's wrong with that statement? What's wrong with
They
that
are the
statement?
soul.
Huh?
They are the soul.
We are the soul.
Yeah.
So, I have a body, is that correct statement? I am the body?
No, I have.
No, I'm
Yeah,
not the
so
body.
I have the body, I am the soul. But what do most people say? I am the body, I have a soul. And that's the problem. That's the confusion between misunderstanding with the role versus the identity. So Krishna is saying, do not confuse the identity with the role. So therefore, perform your Swadharma and your Sanatana Dharma, which is the role of the soul. But you need something more than that. So he says, if you're going to be a real karma yogi, which that's how you should live your life, the next thing you should do is stay in the mode of goodness at the very least. What does that mean? Mode of staying in the mode of goodness. See, we talk about consciousness. Animals have very low level of consciousness. Low level of consciousness. Animals. Higher than that is the human consciousness. But in that human consciousness, there are 3 categories. Mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. So somebody who's in mode of ignorance, what's his conscious level going to be at? What's he going to do? So tell me, describe the behavior of somebody who's in a mode of ignorance. Just some examples of somebody. How does somebody in a mode of ignorance act?
Selfish.
Selfish, absolutely. Yeah. What else? Anger, yes. Picking fights. Always irritated, annoyed, trying to boss over people. That's all. Just lower level question. Then what's what mode of passion? What's the
Ambitious.
Hmm?
Ambitious.
Ambitious, absolutely, yes. Create things, high-rise buildings, new ideas, new projects. So it's slightly higher, but still quite selfish because they want the credit. Even when they give donation of $5 million, they want to make sure their name is on the back of the wall. so and so wing. It's not anonymous. Those who are in mode of goodness, what do they do? What's their behavior? Compassion, exactly right. Paradukkheti, not paradukkheti, right? But they feel a lot of compassion. They are want to do charity, not for the credit, but to help people. That's human level. But if you rise one level above that, what level do you get? What's the one level above human level? Transcendental, but we call it devotee level, right? Devotee level. So the devotee consciousness is higher than that. So we should, at the minimum, stay either at mode of goodness or, if possible, mode of goodness, which is the devotee. Yeah, helping other people, but helping is two ways. Helping materially, which is the mode of goodness. How do devotees help people?
Spiritually.
Spiritually, how? Give me an example.
By giving the books, by sharing knowledge.
Okay, yeah. What's the ultimate goal? What's the desire?
So that
Getting the Krishna consciousness, bringing the consciousness in the head for loving.
Okay, yes, absolutely. Yes, Patel.
Going back to Krishna Dham.
Going back, that's their desire. They want everybody to go back, right? Why is that? Because Krishna wants everybody to go back. So therefore, that is their way of making Krishna happy, pleasing Krishna, right? So they're putting all their efforts in pleasing Krishna. So that's the third thing. So Swadharma, Sanatana Dharma, and staying in the mode of goodness. Fourth thing that most devotees ignore is taking care of your own health. Sometimes we think, oh, if I go to the gym, that's just gratification. But if you don't go to the gym, not in good shape, how will you serve? How will you go out book distribution? How will you do Nagar Sankirtan? Like if you want to Toronto temple, the kitchen is in the basement, the temple is in the first floor. You have to go up and down with big trays in your hand. If you're not healthy, how will you do that? Right? And if you're not healthy, how will you jump up and down dancing for Krishna? You know? So there's a lot of things. And frankly, if you're really sick, you can't. You know, your back is hurting, you have typhoid or some other sickness. How? It's very hard to focus. So therefore, Krishna is saying, you must try to stay healthy, to live a lifestyle that keeps you healthy, a healthy lifestyle. So that's the fourth thing. Fifth thing is, always remember Krishna. So Krishna is one. Why? Because you need that support from Krishna. Somehow, when you remember Krishna, things get better. That doesn't mean you want a problem, that doesn't mean you want challenges. But somehow it was easier to handle. Is that support? It's like, imagine a 4-year-old child. What worry does a 4-year-old child have? So nothing. Why? If it is clothes, parents will do it. If it is food, parents will provide it. If it's cold, parents will put another layer. If it's hot, we'll take a layer off. If he's walking on the street, they'll hold his hand. Whatever he does, parents are taking care of him. And that's Krishna. So you always remember Krishna, and you have that feeling of confidence that my Krishna will take care of me. Suhridam Sarvabhutam. He is the best wisher, he's the best friend of all of us. Especially, he says, the devotee, I mean, better for love. So Krishna will take care. Whatever is required, Krishna will provide. Yog Shema Mahanyam. If I need something, he'll provide. If I have something, he'll protect. So what do I have to worry about? What do I have to worry about? And then he says, it's all Krishna's anyway. If he wants to take it away, it's yours. It doesn't matter, because I am yours. And what is my property? What is my wealth? What is my opulence if I'm a devotee? What is a devotee's property, opulence, wealth?
Love.
Krishna.
Love for Krishna.
Love for.
Love for, who can take that away? Bring it on, come, take it away. You can't take it away. Therefore, I'm safe anyway. So that's the fifth thing. Sixth thing is, if you have success and use that success for your sense enjoyment. If you have success and you say, it's because of what I did, take all the credit for itself, what happens? I'm sorry?
Getting detached from Krishna, getting away from.
Okay, that's true, yes. On the material side, what happens?
Pride.
right? Puffed up. What else?
Karma, again, you are in the cycle of.
The cycle. Yes, you're entangled in the book. Okay. What else?
But once you're like proud of something that was I did this, I did that, it goes away.
Yeah,
Doesn't stay.
thank you. Everything that is corresponding to a role will go away. Everything. The property, car, house, whatever, family, health, titles, they all go away. But identity and this related identity cannot be taken away. So the problem with, some people say, well, what's wrong with being comfortable? The problem is what if you don't succeed? Then what happens? How do you react? Depressed, dejected, disappointed, upset, right? All this stuff. So therefore, Krishna is saying, if you use your success to serve me and your fellow human beings, then that's the right use of success. So therefore, to live life, how to live life? 6 things. Know your Swadharma, act accordingly. Know your Sanatana Dharma, act accordingly. Right? Live in the mode of goodness or pure goodness. Use the results in the service and always remember Krishna. If you remember those 6 things, you will have a good life to live, a life that will be full of contentment, full of pleasure, full of Krishna consciousness, and therefore a very healthy life, even if the body is not cooperating. And so, to answer the question, this is what you have to do. This is the kind of life you have to live, and therefore you can expect to achieve the end goal, which is by remembering Krishna, you at one time or later on achieve Krishna Prema, which is the ultimate goal of life. So I think it's 4:06. I'm going to stop and leave 15 minutes for questions. And any questions, comments, corrections, realizations, you're all welcome.
I just want to say thank you for such a great lecture.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed every minute, and honestly, by giving your personal examples, it made it easier to understand and connect as well. Thank you.
I guess when we talk about the attention, the action, attention, and intentions, right? So I guess those things are the key, and those are there's a fine line between being complacent and saying Krishna and actually connecting.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
It's a comment, but I'm sure you're gonna.
No, it's a wonderful comment because that's what happens. When you think it's by your credit and you're successful multiple times, you become complacent. This is easy, my heart killing, I can do this for sleep. Into complacent, and then problems happen. If you always feel that whatever you achieve has been given by the mercy of Krishna, you will never be complacent because you say, I need to continue to serve Krishna. I need to thank Krishna. So you'll never be complacent otherwise.
I wanted to add to that.
Sure.
I meant it on a different angle, but thank you for
Sure. Go ahead.
it's actually good. Because I meant like someone who's just saying it's okay, Krishna will take care. That's what I meant.
Thank you. So let's talk about that too, because that's another very good point. So this different things you can do. You can say, well, Krishna says everything is under control. I, the proprietor, I'm the giver of everything. So therefore, why do and then product, which means my destiny. So therefore, Krishna is telling me my destiny. If I'm supposed to get $100 million in my life, I can sit here in this chair and just wait. Why do I have to do that? That's what you mean by complacency, right? So that's one attitude, and I'll come back to that. Second attitude is, I got to do everything. If I don't do it, I will not get it. So therefore, I have to work hard. I have to do this because that's the only way I will get it. Neither approach is good. Neither approach is right. Because Krishna does not say that you just sit there, like, for example, let me ask you another question. You've seen Bhagavad Gita, you've seen probably different versions of Bhagavad Gita. And the most popular picture on the cover of Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna sitting in the back, Krishna is in the front, turned around, and come. Right? In 1866, chapter 18, text 66, Krishna says, you surrender to me. In 1873, Arjuna says, I've surrendered to you. I'll do whatever you want. Okay? Have you ever seen a picture where Arjuna is sitting like that? looking at Krishna and says, I have surrendered, now you do your job, you fight the battle. Have you ever seen that? Why? Because Krishna did not say, I'll fight your battle. He says, Tasmat Sarvishu Kaleshu Ma Manusmadricha. You do the battle, but do that remembering me. So Krishna never said, support Bhagavad. He's not going to do that. You have to do the endeavor. But he's saying, don't expect the results from your endeavor, because that's in my control. Again, he's not saying don't plan. You have to plan. But don't attach your expectation to that plan, because that is my job. So therefore, you cannot be complacent thinking Krishna will do your job. No, he's not going to do that. And there's another famous saying in English, God helps those who help themselves. You got to help yourself first, and then Krishna will decide who to help you or not. You can't just sit there and wait for Krishna. He's never said that. 247 is the same thing. Karma never said, you must do your duty. Then I'll decide. Yes, I'll do karma in my own sweet will. What you can. But there's no getting away. So you cannot be complacent and say, yeah, it doesn't happen. So did I address the point?
No.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, what if someone very close to you is hurting and you let them empty themselves, but there's only a limit up to which you can give, and you can also see what they're doing is not enough, or there's more that can be done over there. And when you go and give them advice saying, have you tried this in a very good way, in a positive way, they come back to you saying, oh, it's easier for you to say because you have everything, you are living over here, it's winter. What do you do in a situation like this?
Excellent question, Bhu. I think that was quite good. So remember I was saying, first thing is, don't advise until you are hired. Which means, if they're not asking you for advice, don't give it. That is not being discompassionate. You can show compassion in many other ways, and we'll talk about that. But advice is a dangerous game. Don't give advice that's not being asked for. There can be many reasons why somebody does not ask you advice. You don't ask for advice, keep it to yourself. It doesn't matter how good advice is. Keep it to yourself. Because it's not going to be received well. It's what you're saying in your question, right? So that's one point. Second point is, people have different constraints, restrictions, nature, etc., etc. Not everybody is a good receiver of advice. I know many people who just don't like getting advice. They may have problems, they solve it. And if they need advice, they'll go ask somebody they want to ask. They definitely do not want advice from somebody they have not asked. So sometimes can do more harm than good by giving unsolicited advice. And this is what Krishna in chapter 1 says nothing. Until Arjuna says, tell me. He doesn't say anything. So if that a relative of yours or friend of yours is not asking for advice, keep it to yourself. Now you say, but I want to help.
Yeah, they are also very close.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So you say, I want to help. So figure out what help is required by him, by his definition or her definition, not your definition. So you have to know what they need. Then you have to know if they need it from you, will they accept it from you. They will not. Right? So those are it's called, when you are, again, we're taught in this, the mediation or counseling and all that. First question you should ask is, so what is your real challenge here? See if they want to answer that. Once they have answered that, then ask them, what else? Because they may not have answered it fully. And you may ask what else a few times. Until you're sure that their bucket is empty now, and they want to receive something, and you ask them, what do you want? What should happen? How do you think I can help? If the answer is no, you can't help, just accept it. You can't force help on somebody who doesn't want you. No matter how well-intentioned you are. Now, how good your heart is. You're doing more harm than good by forcing your help on someone. I know it's hard, it's harsh, but it's practical. If they ask you, Absolutely. You know, another thing is, if you really feel that I got it done, then tell somebody else. And see if that person trusts this person more, maybe they can convey. But otherwise, please, more friendships are broken from unsolicited advice than anything else. So don't break that friendship. Okay. Does that make sense, Paul?
Yes. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, it was wonderful class and every point was so practical. And my question is around very important point which you covered, that we play two roles. One is I think. So one is our soul, right? And we are spirit soul, so that spiritual part of it.
Sorry, Paul. We play a role and we have an identity.
Sorry, identity.
So-
Yeah, Prabhuji. Our identity is our spirit soul,
Correct, yeah.
right? And that's our true identity.
Yes.
But as you rightly said, fortunate, unfortunate, we are in the material world.
Correct.
We are the material body, so we can't run away from it.
Correct.
So we play that material role also.
Yes.
So my question is, Prabhuji, that many times one influence on the other. When we are in the material world, we are playing the material role, whatever in office or friends or wherever. That spirit, spiritual identity, since now we are aware, becoming a part of Krishna consciousness, somewhere it pulls us from many those type of things. When we are here, our material identity sometimes pulls that what we want to do but we can't do. So how to balance I know, but how to avoid that cross impact?
Yes. So it's called Maya. So I mean, it's like as soon as you go out that door, Maya attacks you. Now, here you're fine. And so then the question becomes, okay, I'm back to material world, I'm back to my material role, and what's real. And this is what Krishna says. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmriti. Remember Krishna all the time as you're performing your role. Right? So what does remember Krishna all the time mean? So for example, what kind of work do you do?
I'm
Software. Project manager, programmer, huh? Okay, in management. So as manager, you have certain challenges. Some come because you know they're coming, some come without. And the manager, God, 99% is unplanned, unsolicited challenges and problems that come. Remembering Krishna as a manager means, first of all, Krishna has put me in this position of responsibility. Therefore, whatever I'm doing is by His grace. My goal still remains to please Him ultimately. Therefore, I will do my duty, my endeavor, my actions, my attention, my intention is going to be to solve this challenge that I have as a manager. I'm going to leave the result to Him because my karma and Krishna's desire are the other two factors I have no control over, therefore the results will be controlled by Him. But I'm going to focus on these two. So as a manager, you focus on those three things. Your action, your attention, or your intention. And then, if the result is successful, you say, Krishna, thank you so much. If the action is not successful, you say, Krishna, thank you anyway. Why? Because this is a lesson here somewhere for me. Which is remembering the result is in the control of Krishna. I did whatever I could. I did the best I could. I did not leave any stone unturned. I looked at the problem from every angle. I covered all my bases. I did everything that needed to be done. I talked to everybody I needed to talk to. I did whatever needed to put in place. It still did not succeed. That means one thing. Krishna did not want this to happen. And he accepted. And he moved on. That is what remembering Krishna all the time is. And then whatever challenges come, whatever other role you have, for every one of them, when you get your promotion, you get salary increases, that's also Krishna's mercy. 1 year you may not get any of this. Krishna didn't want that. But as long as you know your rating was excellent and for whatever reason you did not get the raise you wanted, Krishna didn't want that. And that's it. As long as you're convinced that whatever I have, whatever I will have, whatever I possess, the skills or wealth or whatever, is all Krishna's quota given to me by His mercy. You're satisfied. And that's what it's about. Are you satisfied and you know, are you satisfied in your job? Are you satisfied in the company? In the sense of inside, not, oh, I'm not satisfied because he got promotion, I didn't. I don't mean that. Inside, how you feel. And that's what it's about. And that's what living integrated life means. Am I happy inside? Am I content? Or do I have lots of stress for what I don't have? I have a lot of stress for what I want to have. Am I doing 2 jobs? Am I always going crazy with the tension of what's going to happen? Or am I cool? I'm cool because I know Krishna will take care of things. And whatever Krishna wants will happen. Not become complacent, that's what I was talking about. Still doing your endeavor. Still doing action, attention, and intention. But this is unacceptable. It's not difficult, but it may sound difficult, but it's not. It's not difficult. You have to have that faith. Have that faith, stick around with people of similar faith. Do your books, do your chanting, do your service, it will come automatically. Okay. Put this question back.
It's a bit of extension of AJ Prabhu's question. Not about complacency, but I find myself a lot of times in this situation where it's a crosshead, right? I mean, I have to take a decision between 2 options. I know the bigger driving factor is, yes, both of them, I want to ensure that, yes, I stay path on that spiritual journey. But still, one could be more material, the other one may not be as material. Given that I still want to be on the path of Krishna, I strongly believe whichever path I take, I mean, he'll take care of it. Yeah, that also I believe. But then am I wrong to decide the one that is a bit more material is right? I move towards that because I think that's what maybe I want to do. It's material. With an underlying principle that, yes, I want to be on the path of my spiritual journey. I want to continue servicing him. But at the same time, if I choose that path out of the 2, am I wrong? Am I being more material to decide?
The first question is whether being material is more wrong. So what do you think? Is it more wrong to be more material, or is it less wrong to be more material?
I mean, okay, material may be the wrong word to say here, but when I say, how do I decide between 2 options, which I see?
There's a reason why I'm asking that question. Yeah. So do you think it's more wrong to be more material, or do you think it's okay to be more material? I just understand your thought process.
I'm not sure. I mean, that's what I feel because I'm driven towards that decision out of the 2 options. It could be material that I'm inclined to that decision, while material is actually saying, I mean, there is a satisfaction to say, as you said, I believe I can do this job very well. So yes, I want to go to that path. While it may be seen as that because I can do that job well, I will be probably materially more rewarding there. And I might feel, oh, I am inclined towards materiality, while it could be just an internal desire to do that work.
Sure. There's a reason why I was asking the question I was asking. So here is my point. There's nothing wrong in trying to do something that's more material. For example, if you want to be the president or CEO of a company, there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, everybody should be ambitious. You know, work hard enough to become the CEO, become the president. But what will you do after you CEO is the point that I'm trying to get to. And this is what I was saying earlier. How are you using your success? You're using your success to enjoy yourself and tell the world how great you are, then there's something wrong with it. But you use your success to do seva. So for example, if today Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister of India, stands up and says, I am a Hare Krishna, I think half of India will become Krishna conscious. Because he says so. So use that. And that's my point. If you use your success in the service seva, then there's nothing wrong with it. There is not more material because it turned into spiritual. And that is Karma Yogi. You're using the success, the results of your work in the service of Krishna. Go become CEO of Prabhu, no problem. Okay, go make $1 million, $10 million, whatever you want to make. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you use it for the service of Krishna.
Thank you. Exactly addresses what I was looking at. Thank you.
So you manage the timer. Okay, don't give it to her.
It's okay, Prabhu.
I'm just saying. So I'm going to simply that take the blame, okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, my question is extension of Ritin Prabhuji question. That you said that give advice only when it asks. So it is in the case of kids also.
Right, thank you. Well, thank you. So there is different situations. One is called power. One is called relationship. One is called anyway. Parent-child relationship is a power relationship by necessity. Your children, I'm assuming they're young, quite young, they don't know enough what's good for them. It is your duty to teach them. If you don't tell them, then you're not doing your duty. Right? And it's also your duty to have a relationship with the children where they want to listen to you. Now you may say, well, they don't listen. Yeah, I know, most children are like that. But still, as parents, it's our duty to have a relationship where children feel comfortable. Right? And again, let me explain a little more. If the child feels every time I go in front of my mother or father, I get yelled at. Whether this is not going to be what you want. If they know sometimes they can get overused, sometimes they get talking to, sometimes they get encouragement, sometimes they get lecture. But they get a mixture of all that, but all in their mind, done in a loving way. Not in your mind, in their mind. Then we're happy to hear from. We're happy to be told. Right? Yes, when parents think it's only about power and it's my role to yell at them all the time, then so I tell people that whatever relationship the parent has established with the child by the age of 7, whatever relationship a parent has established with the child by the age of 7 is going to be defining the relationship with the rest of it. I know, I'm sorry, but I know so many 18 to 20-year-old children who don't want to have anything to do with parents. They're only 18 to 20 years old. As soon as they get the opportunity to get out of the house, go to university or something, they're done. They don't want to. Why? Because they did not get treated right by their parents. And some parents think that, they have the power over there. It's their duty to yell and everything they do is wrong. And they have to be given a lesson all the time. No, it doesn't work. Even when they're wrong, they don't have to be yelled at. I'm not saying nobody has place for that also. But that is not the only way to treat the child. Similarly, it's not the only thing you do with them is give you a lecture. Aisa mat karo, wasa mat karo, ye mat karo, wo kaisa karti ho kaisa. That's the worst thing you can do with you. So encourage them. Let them bloom. Let them prosper. Let them feel this is safe zone. This is my home. My mom loves me. My dad loves me. They'll do anything for me. Let them feel that. Then they'll do what they want. Sorry, that was too strong. But, I really believe that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sure.
I think everybody will blame me now for sure. So, I'm just going to turn on the other side. You touched on the point, Prabhu, that having material things is emptiness. Like it just results into emptiness in the end. Like you may like something more material at this point, but it turns into emptiness at the end. There is no satisfaction basically coming from that. Or even if any pleasure comes, it is also very short-lived and all those things. So, but when you start to feel that in the devotional areas, you start to feel emptiness, or you start to, like just going through the motions, what is wrong that we are doing? I'm being clear about it. There's something wrong I'm doing. That is why it is happening. So what is wrong that we are doing? That is dangerous.
So basically, if I could rephrase the question, I'm a devotee, I'm doing my chanting and all that, but I feel depleted, I don't have taste for chanting, my heart is not into this, something has gone wrong. That's basically your question, right? So what's happening? Could be many things, or any of the following things. One is, It could be because you're feeling depleted because you're always giving. If you always give, so imagine this glass is full of water and I keep emptying it. Sooner or later it's going to be empty. However, there's a jug I have in my other hand, and the more I empty, the more I fill it. It can never be empty. So therefore, your glass has to be full. What does that mean? How do you fill your glass? By listening to your seniors' classes, associating with them, discussing, discussing about Krishna Katha, with each other. That is your refill for your glass. So you need to do that. Otherwise, if you all just give. That's one. This is why everyone, no matter who you are, if you're a sannyasi or another guru or whatever, you must have a mentor. Everybody in the world should have a mentor. Mentor is the one who will tell you when you're going wrong. Mentor is going to tell you what you're lacking. Mentor is going to put you on the right path when he feels you're deviating. So everybody, and if you don't, do you have mentorship system in this?
Not
Start it. I'm telling you, bro. It's nothing more important. Anything, anywhere, any industry, but especially Krishna consciousness, nothing more important than having mentorship program in the place. So I'll help you start. If you're willing to start, I'll help you start. Have it. The second thing. Third thing is, if we have committed offenses against Vaishnavas, then it's like the life here just gets sucked out of us. Lord Chaitanya describes a mad elephant syndrome. So imagine a mad elephant going somewhere, they describe anything. All the creepers, the trees, and the plants, and whatever stones they put together, everything will be destroyed by the mad elephant. And offending a devotee is like that. And by the way, it's so easy to offend other devotees. So be very careful about that. And if we have inadvertently or intentionally offended a devotee, I apologize. When Durvasa Muni went to Vishnu, running and said, "You said if I surrender to you, you will protect me. So here I am, I'm surrendering, you protect me." And Vishnu said, There was a catch there. If you offend my devotee, I do not protect you. You have to go back to that devotee and apologize. He will. So therefore, we must apologize to the devotee we think is wrong. I mean, this is a very broad topic, but in a nutshell, we have to apologize. So, keep that association, have elders like mentors in your life, keep filling your jug or your glass, and if you have committed offenses, make sure you apologize. There's so many other offenses like seva aparad, nam aparad, so many other aparad. Be very careful about it. But that'll deplete your glass very quickly. Okay?
Sorry, in the interest of time, we'll have to move on.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for it. The next part will be the Jagannath photo. But before that, from announcements. So, this, as you all know, the facility is run based on the sponsorship. We are renting this facility from iGita. And for this week, we thank Seema Mataji for sponsoring this program. And these are the dates that we still have opportunity for sponsors. If anybody is interested in sponsoring, please reach out to Seema Mataji or even to Panchami Mataji. So that these are the only dates available in entire May. Going forward. So next will be the Jagannath Ashtakam. I'm going to display the verse here. So you can please sing along. It will be a call and response.
We'll all sing, no?
What? We will all sing.
Okay, we'll all sing.
But keep the one person. You can. You are today closing it is your. Yeah,
Can someone come from Mridam, Kartal?
So, we are assuming that after last week, everybody started to the one time once a day Jagannath Astakam. How many of you started to do the Jagannath Astakam every day? Please raise your hand. Every day Jagannath Astakam, how many of you started to do every day? Oh, not even 10%. We want a successful Rath Yatra. Jagannath Astakam, everybody. You think the donation drive will be successful like that? We are so strong. Okay.
Mataji will do it now.
Okay.
Okay, so you can sing along. Kadachit kalindita kavipina sangita karamo Udavira jana kamala saraduva Yada sambhu brahma varapati ganesha chita kado Jagannath Swami Nayana Padagami Agatu पठेद् सर्वपापविष्णुलोकं सगच्छति। जय जगन्नाथ।
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकाली जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Everyone sing from the bottom of your heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
बोलो हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की गौर प्रेमानंद देवी
जयंती लीला प्रविष्टो पुष्पपाद परमहंस शिष्य 108 भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य डीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री गौरताय की जय। राधा कृष्ण मिलित तनु विप्लम्ब विग्रह श्री गौर सुंदर की जय। श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्याम कुंड श्री राधा कुंड की जय। श्री राधा क्षेत्र गोपीनाथ की जय। श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ श्री बलदेव श्रीमती सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। भक्ति विघ्न विनाशकारी नृसिंहदेव की जय। प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल। All glories to the Assembly Lord, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly Lord, Hare Krishna. All glories to the Assembly Lord, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Rama. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Charine Nirvisheshi Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Mahaprasad translation. Okay.
For those who have amassed very deep everybody on the Mahaprasad because the Vaishnava is never born.
Hare Krishna. Before we take the prasadam, we honor prasadam. Let's please listen the prasadam prayer. Please. Hari Bol.
Say it.
Okay, for those who have amassed very few past activities, they pray in Mahaprasad and Sri Govind in the holy name and in Vaishnava is never born. Oh brothers, this material body is a network of ignorance and the senses are one's deadly enemy. For they throw the soul into the ocean of material senses. All these senses come from the ferocious and very. It is very difficult to conquer the in this world. Oh brothers, Lord Krishna is very merciful just to control the tongue. They have given us the commandments of his own food. Now please eat the significant grains by singing the words of their Lordship, Shri Shri Radha and Krishna and in love follow Chaitanya. Samiya Vidyaya
Hare Krishna. I request all devotees to take as much as you can eat because it is offense if we waste the food. So